Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending today's webinar. My name is Hernan Lopez, and I'm with QNAP. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about the QNAP new Thunderbolt NAS technology. And we are going to be talking about WD's hard drive technology as well, and that's going to be by Darren Bullock. So just a couple of housekeeping notes. Just want to confirm that you guys can hear me okay, and that you guys, fantastic, thanks Alan, and as well that you guys can see my screen. Alan, can you confirm my screen visibility, please? Fantastic, good. Aaron, thank you, I appreciate that. So, okay, so let's go ahead and get started. A couple of housekeeping rules. We're going to try to answer all the questions at the end of the presentation. So I'm going to go about 25 minutes. Darren's going to go about 25 minutes, and at the end we're going to talk. We're going to open up the forum for your questions. Now, if you guys want to ask questions on the fly, that's fine, and we'll just go back, and that way you don't forget your questions, right? And then we will review them once Darren wraps up on his presentation. Then we'll dive right into the questions. Okay, guys? So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about the QNAP Thunderbolt NAS. Okay, so it's a DAS, NAS, iSCSI, IP SAN. Okay, so current products in the market. Now, these are the products that we recognize as DAS, okay? And for creatives, this is something not unusual. These are actually very basic tools used in creative spaces, in marketing, advertisement, cinematography, and filmography and photography. So, again, very well recognized. A lot of us have them in homes as well. So, recognized as direct attached storage systems connecting via USB, right, or Thunderbolt. Again, just kind of recap on these. So we're going to bring everything together, talk about some technology and how it ties into the new QNAP Thunderbolt system. Okay, so direct attached storage used today. Okay, we have what are as we know, right, the USB external drives, right? We have RAID drives as well, and we know those very well. We use them. RAID drives, array drives, NAS drives, all the same. And USB sticks, as we know them, USB thumb drives. I think we all have them. We all use them. Now, what are some of the some of the difficulties we have when using some of this technology? Number one is the inability to share files. Right? Basically, you have to physically disconnect the drive, disconnect the system, and take it somewhere, and then reconnect it and sort of upload it and utilize it. Now, it doesn't make it's not great for collaboration when you're working in a group. Basically, it's a little time consuming. Inability to centralize files, right? So why? Because you have them what is called edge technology. So you have them sitting on the outside of your network. Okay, so it's sometimes hard to reach those. If you have something in the outside of your network, obviously you can't jump out of your network via USB and reach it. So that causes a little bit of headaches as well in certain instances. Now, inability to remote access. So if I'm on the road, I need some marketing material. I need things that are created, and it's sitting on a drive somewhere. I can't access it, so it slows me down, and sometimes, guys, it gives me some headaches. So we're going to talk about how we're going to create solutions for these. Okay, talking about the new QNAP Thunderbolt NAS and the Western Digital, the WD hard drives, and how those all tie in together. So why use a NAS? And everybody talks about a NAS. Hey, it's a NAS. Everyone's always saying, "Oh, my NAS." So what NAS do you have? It's a network attached storage system, guys. It's basically hard drives that are connected on a network. Okay, and you give you the ability to access that anywhere you go. Why? Because they're on a network. And if your network happens to be on the internet, then you can definitely access those drives as well. Okay, and we refer to those as NAS. We refer to those as RAID boxes, and they also refer to them as arrays. So a lot of people have different names for them. It's all the same thing. So why NAS? Well, because you can back up. Okay, you can remote replicate to another NAS. Okay, you can use Time Machine, a Mac Time Machine, a backup to back up your stuff also on an app. So it's a great system. You can share files across multiple platforms. What does multiple platforms mean? Let's say, for example, you have a marketing team that uses Macs. Okay, you have a development software team that uses Linux machines, and then you have the sales team who uses Windows. Everybody can access the same NAS system within one network. Okay? So that's what we talk about multiple platforms. Centralized files. Okay? So again, it centralizes everything, so you don't have a bunch of copies of a bunch of things. It's all in one place. So that lends itself very well, for not having to search things and have multiple copies of stuff. Who wants that, right? And then you have different versions of it. Which one was the latest one? You got to check the properties to find out which one's the latest one. So that helps out a lot. Again, remote access. Like I said, I travel a lot. Remote access for me is very important. Be able to log in anytime to my system, right, and be able to grab anything I want, and that can be on my smartphone, or that can be on my laptop, or as a matter of fact, any workstation, any PC, any laptop in the world. As long as I have internet access, I can reach my NAS. Okay, and it expands. It expands as you do. It expands as your company grows. It expands as your business grows, and expands as technology grows. And as we know, we're talking about 4K, Blu-ray, 8K. This stuff is growing. Okay, and you got to grow as well. You got to be able to have a system that's going to grow when your needs grow. Okay, and QNAP will allow you to do that. So let's talk about speed. Let's talk about lightning speed. Okay, transfer. Let's say, for example, you have a 4K movie. Okay, and this is not unusual, right? As we know, Apple systems, tablets, they're recording 4K. Right? A lot of the GoPros record 4K. A lot of our cameras record 4K. So how are we going to start transferring this stuff? And if you work with it, you know what it's like. You professionals out there, I don't have to tell you what it's like, working with 4K. And these are big, big files, transferring them in and out. And if you're talking about a 4K movie like Titanic, a 3-hour movie, man, this takes a long time to transfer, right? So here's an example. If you're using a USB 2, right, and we know what USB 2 is, it takes 30 minutes. It takes half an hour to transfer a movie. Okay, now when you're at home, that's no big deal, right? Because you can walk around, you can grab a soft drink, etc. while it's transferring. But when you're at work and you do this 100 times, that's a lot of time you're losing. Okay, let's talk about FireWire. We know FireWire as being the Mac technology, of yesterday. 19 minutes, so basically about 20 minutes to transfer a 4K movie. Okay, USB 3, and this is the latest PC technology. USB 3 came out about a year ago, and that takes about 4 minutes. Okay, so it's speeding up, right? It's getting a little faster. Thunderbolt 1, the Mac technology Thunderbolt 1 takes about a minute and a half to transfer a movie. Okay, and now let's talk about Thunderbolt 2, and that's the newest Thunderbolt from Intel that's utilized in Mac environments, and that takes 45 seconds. Okay, and that's a technology we're going to talk about today. Okay, Thunderbolt 2 and how it works with the QNAP within creative environments. Okay, now we're talking about 45 seconds. I mean, yeah, 45 seconds. 1, 2, 3. It takes some time, but it's not 30 minutes. Okay, and it's a lot faster. Trust me, when you're working on stuff, you got to get out to your customer. You got to respond to your customer. You got to get it out to your boss. This is where it's at. This is the important stuff, right? Getting stuff out to your customer. Why? You got to invoice them. You got to get paid. They got to take it out to their customers. Everybody's got to be happy, right? So this is what we've developed, okay, and it's taken us a couple years working with Intel on developing this product. Okay, it's not something that we just plug and play. It's actually something we've been working on for the last couple of years with Intel to get it to this point. So what it is, it's a DAS plus NAS solution. Okay, so it runs at Thunderbolt speed, shareable, as I mentioned, across the network, and you can pick the protocols. You can say I want SMB, AFP, FTP, or NFS. So you can actually designate it or tell it which types of protocols you want it to transfer data. Okay, so here's a Thunderbolt NAS. Okay, plus some expansion units. Basically, what they are expansion units, JBODs, basically dummy boxes. Right, they don't have CPUs or RAM. What they do is just add extra hard drives to your existing unit. Okay, so you don't have to run out and buy yourself another Thunderbolt NAS. No, just buy out some inexpensive expansion units, and it continues to grow. Right. So file-based DAS is what we're talking about. Okay, it's a file-based direct attached storage. It's plug and play without complex settings. It's really easy to set up. Okay, it directly attaches between a NAS and a PC and a Mac. Okay, access shared folders via Thunderbolt connectivity, and it's actually direct, guys. It actually creates a server environment. It's not the DAS, and then we'll talk about that a little bit in detail. So let's take a look at that. Now, it's available in 2 models, and the reason we do that is because some people have more of a workload, and they need more robust, more powerful CPU, right, and RAM. Okay, so we have a version right? We have a version that comes with an Intel Core i3 processor, and we have another one that comes with a Core i7 processor. And again, respectively, for the more, the more robust work that you're doing, okay, depending on what you're doing. And if you need specific answers, you have questions about what you're doing, your workflow, send us an email or call us, and we'll help you. We'll walk you through to find you exactly what you need. Okay, specifications. So this is under the hood. This is what's going on underneath that hood of the actual Thunderbolt NAS. So again, the CPU it comes with, okay, it comes with an i5 or an i7, depending on your needs. Hardware encryption, yep, it comes with hardware encrypted, so it's very safe. Memory, 16 gigs, okay, of RAM. Flash memory, 512. Okay, Thunderbolt 2 ports, it comes with 2 of them, not just 1, but 2. And I'm going to explain to you why 2 is important than 1. Hard drives, 8. Okay, you can use 3.5 or 2.5 SATA drives, the SATA drives that we know and use every day, or it comes with SSDs as well. So you have the option. Okay, LAN port. Okay, it comes with 2 10-gig LAN ports. Okay, and if you're not familiar with 10-gig technology, it's super fast. It's like your home network, your 1 gig, except it's 10 times faster. So just remember that. And it's very common space for for businesses now to use the 10 gig. So we're going to talk about that. USBs. Okay, now comes with 3 USB 3.0s and 2 USB 2.0s. You're asking, what the heck? Why does somebody need so many USBs? And I get that question a lot. Well, you can connect a keyboard and a mouse to the QNAP and use it direct. Okay, you don't have to go to the network. You can actually connect direct to it. You can connect the monitor to it. It's a standalone system. Okay, you can actually launch a Windows environment within it too. So if you need that, if you need the Windows, you can go ahead and launch that, install one, and launch it in there too. PCI slots. Okay, it does have a PCI slot. Okay, but they're being used up by the Thunderbolt 2 cards. Okay, that's exactly where we inserted it using those slots. Okay. So let's do a quick comparison, and this is really interesting because it actually it hones in on the differences between the DAS, okay, and the NAS, the other NASs in the system, and the QNAP. Okay, so let's take a look at that. So performance, okay, and as we can see here, the Thunderbolt speed, okay, right, it's got 2 Thunderbolts, and then it's got the dual 10 gig as well. Okay, now the direct attached storage, as we know, it comes with only Thunderbolt. The other NAS systems only have the Ethernet 1 gig, as I mentioned, sort of like your house and your small office. Remote access with the QNAP Thunderbolt, yes. With the direct attached storage with the Thunderbolt, no. It doesn't have that because it's just basically a DAS. It's connected directly to your system. With other NAS systems, yes, this is possible. That's what they're built for. File sharing with the QNAP, yes, you can do that. Now, with the DAS, you can't. With other NASs, yes, you can. But remember, the QNAP comes with both built in, so it gives you, it's 2 plus 1. It's 2 in 1, guys. Okay, file sharing, and again, really important. In a creative space, when you create something, you need to share it. You need to share it with your management team, with your boss, with your customer. This is what it's QNAP's for, to collaborate, to share it. Okay, so now we're sharing the system. Okay, the QNAP does it. Thunderbolt unfortunately doesn't do that. Why? It's connected directly to the Mac, right? So it doesn't allow you to do this. Other NASs, yes. Again, that's their technology. That's what they're built for. RAID technology, and as we know, RAID technology is if one disk fails and the other one, has a copy of it, or basically will continue to run while you can come in and hot swap it and replace another disk, and none of your information will be compromised. So this is RAID technology. The QNAP, yes, has it. Okay. Some of the DAS don't have it. Okay, they're just hard drives. They don't have this RAID technology in case something fails. And the other NASs, yes, you can bet they all do that. That's what they're, again, made for. Add-on features, QNAP has hundreds of apps you can download to utilize within your environment. The DAS systems, they don't have that. Again, they're just hard drives. Okay. Other NAS systems, yep, they have their apps as well. Mobile access, you can access the QNAP, as I mentioned. The most important part for me when I travel is getting my stuff. Okay, getting all my graphics, my videos, anything I need, I have it there, and it's safe. If I lose my laptop, if I lose my smartphone, it doesn't matter. It's sitting on my NAS in my office, or sitting on my NAS at home. I can access it, so I'm secure. I have nothing to worry about. So how does it work? How does the IP over Thunderbolt technology work? Well, here it is. It's actually the 2 cables that are built-in services, including FTP file and sharing, and it's all connected. It's actually, as I mentioned to you guys, it's not just a DAS connection. It's actually, it creates its own IP address basically, and you'll be able to see that. And if anyone wants more detail, wants a demo, wants to take a look at it, email us, guys. Email us, and I'll give you my information, and we'll walk you through it. Okay? We'll walk you all through all this stuff. Okay? And if that's not enough, it comes again with 2 Thunderbolt 2 ports. Okay? And those are built in the back, and 2 10 gig ports, as I told you, super speed, right? Okay, and then it comes with 4 1 gig in case you need to connect through other networks. Okay, and with that you can do port trunking, you can do different stuff, different types of connections, redundancy as well, using the 1 gig Ethernet ports, the landlines. Now, challenges. As we know, a lot of you guys are photographers that jumped online, and thank you for attending. A lot of these, as we know, we got a lot of hard drives, and I know I talk to you guys a lot. I know you guys got a lot of hard drives laying around with a lot of pictures, but you can't find them. You're like, I think it's somewhere here on a hard drive. And when you get commissioned to do something, sometimes they say, hey, can I get that again? I want to reuse it. And now you got to scramble all over to find it. Okay, and I hear these. We talk a lot, guys, in shows, and I know what that's like. Post production, again, the same thing. Being able to share files, right? Being able to, well, how are you going to share it? Well, I got to take it out of my drive, and I got to plug it in somewhere, and then I got to upload it, then I got to email it, then I got to, right? So again, time consuming. Large files. How are you going to transfer a large file? Well, you definitely need, the 10 gig connectivity, right? You need to get this out of your system, out to your customer, right? So film, okay, cinematography, multiple outings. So a lot of times you're on the road, you're on the road. You need to get out, and is your system portable? Can you take it with you? With the QNAP box, yeah. It's 16 inches. It's 16 inches in width. So yeah, you can take it with you, of course. As long as you have your power supply and your network, you're good to go. Your switch. So advertisers, art directors, they need to work with this Thunderbolt speed. Again, time. Why? They have timelines. They're telling you guys, hey, we got to get this to our customer. They're waiting for this. Give it to me. Give it to me now. Right? You hear that all the time. Well, now with the QNAP, you can shave off a lot of time. Trust me, a lot of time utilizing it. So here's a basic workflow of a photographer. And again, I know some of you guys do this different, but this is sort of an overview that we collected of all of you guys and kind of brought it in together. So you take the pictures, right? You put it on an SD card, then you save it to an external hard drive, right? And then you save it back to, then you got to transfer it over to your Mac and then do the editing. And then how do you share it? Well, sometimes you send it to Dropbox. Sometimes you because it's the file so big, right? That's basically how it's done. Okay, or you put it on a USB stick or an external drive. You have to take it to your customer, for proofs. So now the Thunderbolt NAS workflow is a little different. It cuts out some of those steps, right? You take the pictures, you take those out of your raw files. You can take them out, or you can connect directly. And as you know, you have a connection that you can connect to your system, right? So you take out the pictures, put them straight into the QNAP, right? And then from the QNAP, you can actually create directly within the QNAP itself. Why? Because it's connected directly. Remember, it's not a network anymore. Now it's connected through the Thunderbolt straight into the Mac. Now you're pulling stuff in, at 20 gig speed, super fast. Edit, save, create files, create libraries within the QNAP directly. So now your file, you're opening, creating, saving directly onto your QNAP now. Okay, and you can do this either directly through the network, or you can do it directly through the Thunderbolt. It's your choice. Okay, but trust me, the Thunderbolt is a lot faster. Okay, so then from there, and again from there, you can share it directly. QNAP has the ability to right-click and share links, or you can send it up to third-party Amazon, other cloud services as well. Those come built in in the QNAP as well, so very easy to use. You can see the workflow there changes. So let's talk a little bit more about the connectivity, dual Thunderbolt ports. And again, we talk about this because it's very important. Again, why do we have two, right? Well, there's a good reason. Now, you can connect to 2 workstations. What does that mean? Well, if I have 2 Macs, they can both be sharing directly into the QNAP. But the thing is, it's now you're sharing. Now you're moving at Thunderbolt speed, Thunderbolt 2 speed, right? So it's a lot faster to file save. And again, we know these 4K videos, these large files are very big, right? So now you can actually save those direct, right? And 2 stations at one. And does that mean that no one else can access information? No, anyone can that's on the network. You're on the 10 gig, anybody can access it, and as long as they have the rights and access to your folders and your sharing, anybody can come in through the network through the same NAS, right? So anybody can access this information. That's what we're talking about, collaboration today. So and scale, again, that's important. What happens if you start running out of size? Well, with the QNAP, you have nothing to worry about because you can continue to grow. Okay, you can grow up to 448 terabytes is what I'm talking about. Okay, I know a lot of us studios. We work with a lot of studios here in Southern California and New York City, and the same thing. We know how much space this stuff takes up, right? So now with the QNAP, you can daisy chain out, and as you can see here in the image here, kind of keep connecting as much as you need, right? As much as your customer needs. So again, collaboration is the key, guys. Collaboration to be able to come in and do your work. Maybe somebody has to touch it up, right? Maybe someone has to do other stuff, scaling different stuff to different types of graphic work. Not just one person, but a whole team can start working together. Okay, supported video editing software, Final Cut Pro. We work very well with them with software, as well as Premiere Pro. Okay, what we're looking at here is digital cinematography. Now, this is a card. It's called a DIT card. Okay, and this is used. Digital imaging technicians use this on the field. So they take this with them and they shoot on the field and they save everything and they do a lot of the touching up. They do it on site. Okay, so very important. Now you can, again, a lot of steps are eliminated. Being able to transfer, coding and all that stuff, you don't need that anymore. Now you're saving directly. Now you're storing directly onto one system. So you cut out like 2 or 3 systems right in between this. Again, digital cinematography and being able to have all these connections. Why do you need that many connections? Well, because 2 people are connected. One person is connected to Thunderbolt. The other one is connected to an expansion unit. Okay, 10 other people are connected via the 10 gig switch, right? And the gigabit, the 1 gig, someone's connected in there also. Maybe it's a building department. Maybe someone needs a proof of it. Everybody's connected to it, USB, and it plays everything back for you. So you can actually connect a monitor to it and watch your dailies or watch the stuff you've created instantly via the 4K connector that's on the back as well, and that's via HDMI. And again, 4 ways to connect. You can connect from a Mac, okay, from the NAS to a Mac to a JPod, okay, or from the QNAP to a Mac, okay, to another NAS, or from the QNAP to a Mac to another Mac, or from the QNAP to a JPod up to 6 of them, okay. So here's a summary, okay. So let's recap as we talked about, okay. The recapping is this. So 2, 3, 4, okay, 2 network technologies all bundled into one, right? The Thunderbolt technology and Ethernet technology. 3, storage technologies, DAS, NAS, iSCSI, IP SAN system, okay? It's all in there. 4 ways to connect, okay? Mac, Windows, Linux cross-platform sharing. Okay, again, very important in a large environment that people have different systems, right? The highest cost performance ratio of all storage solutions. It's true. This is all you need. This is all you need. You need a QNAP, and you need to add some WD drives to it, and you're up and running. You're good to go. Okay, very cost-effective solution out there. So, and the great thing is, it comes with the QNAP QTS, our operating system. Okay, and if that's not good enough for you, then hey, let's install a Windows. If that's not the thing for you, install a Linux, Ubuntu operating system. Okay, so we give you that flexibility. So again, my name is Hernan. Thank you for the QNAP portion of our webinar, and again, jot this down: USA Sales at QNAP.com, or visit us at QNAP.com. Any questions, concerns? Feel free to email us anytime, and our team will get back to you. This email will come to me as well. It comes to all of us here at QNAP, and we'll be happy to answer any of your questions. Okay, and even the questions that you guys are posting right now at the end. Okay, we will talk about it. Okay, we'll try to answer your questions as well. We have a team of engineers here that can help you. So next up to bat is Darren Bullock, and Darren, he's with us from WD, and he's going to talk about the Western digital technology that's going to assist us in working together and collaborating and making you guys happy. So, okay, Darren.
All right, thanks, Hernan. Great update on the TVS-871T there. Wish I had something to plug into it from a Thunderbolt point of view, but unfortunately I'm just running PC and don't have any Thunderbolt ports yet, but soon. All right, so moving along here, I would like to talk about our WD-Red hard drives for NAS storage. Again, the perfect complement to the QNAP NAS systems, especially the one that Hernan just walked through. Hernan had a slide very similar, and I like to always have it in anytime I'm going to talk about our red drives that are optimized and designed for NAS storage. Is again just the benefit and value of a NAS device. I won't go through all these points, but the nice thing about it, as Hernan highlighted, is again you get access to your content anywhere in the world, and it's a nice consolidation place for all of your files, photos, multimedia, important information, and depending on the type of NAS that you select, if it has RAID capability, you can have incremental protection for your hard drives as well. So one thing that we would like to address is making sure that you're using the right hard drive in any given application. So when it comes to hard drives, we want to make sure that you appreciate what type of application is the hard drive going to be installed in, and how the application will be used, and in what type of environment. For the different types of applications that are in the market today, we do have a wide range of products and essentially colors to align to those different applications. So we've got the WD Blue drives they're more targeted at desktop PCs. We've got black, which is hopefully being used in a lot of the workstations that the creative professionals would be using, that would be attaching to the Thunderbolt NAS that Hernan went through. We've got our red drives, again targeted specifically at NAS systems. And our newest member to our color family is the WD Purple. We've been shipping that for almost 2 years now, and that product is targeted specifically at surveillance storage. And then we have our data center product line that has three or four brands in it as well, and may be a good solution for some of the higher end NAS systems that you may purchase and use for a small, medium, or even large business. So with the expansion of capabilities in the NAS systems, and QNAP is definitely leading in adding more and more value and capability to the NAS systems, we're seeing higher adoption of NAS systems in the marketplace. And there's obviously two types of consumers, or at least two. One is the consumer, where they may want to use a NAS just for their everyday multimedia management, backup, and file sharing. And then, as you know, that leverages itself, especially file sharing and backup, into the business applications as well. And you can see larger rack-type systems going into small, medium, and even large businesses, where perhaps they don't want to spend, or they don't have the infrastructure support to build a full data center closet. And maybe they'll buy one or two rack-based NAS systems to be able to manage their business, as well as share application across the network and across their entire business. So just some interesting market data here. This is from WD, GfK, and NPD pulling it together. You can see that the majority of NAS systems that are shipped today are 2-bay, and this is for unpopulated, 2-bay and 4-bay. But you can see there's definitely growth in the 6, 8, and even 12-bay NAS systems. So a system like the 871T, we will see more of those coming out into the market, 8-bay systems with the great capabilities, and then as a percentage growing as a percentage of the market. Then when we look at the NAS systems, we do have two different red drives to offer. We have a WD Red, and we have a WD Red Pro. And this is typically kind of an animation, but for the lower end systems, we tend to recommend the WD-Red drive, and I'll go through the specifics of what exactly the differences are between WD-Red and WD-Red Pro moving forward. But just from a positioning point of view, you can see the WD-Red would be in really the 6 to 8 bay type of system and below. And it's more typically targeted at systems that have an Atom type processor, Atom or even less. When you get to the 6 to 8 bay and all the way up to 12 and 16 bays, you can see that WD-Red Pro would be what we would recommend, primarily because the CPU capability is much higher, and the workload and again the number of drives in the system is going to be much higher than what we would see in these lower end consumer NAS systems. So we'd like to offer more of a professional grade Red hard drive, which we call the WD-Red Pro. So what is this WD-Red Pro that I've been talking about? It's a hard drive that's designed for business class NAS systems and applications. It's got leading features for performance and high reliability. And we do work very closely with our NAS partners, like QNAP, to make sure that these drives are compatible in those systems. What makes the Red drives essentially targeted and capable for high performance, high reliability in NAS systems is our WD-NASware. So the WD-NASware is kind of an umbrella for technologies that we have put into the drives to support, again, high performance in NAS systems. Some of the features I'll go through in a few slides, but just to throw a couple out there. Part of it is cache tuning on the hard drive side, so we're able to keep performance very high, and even features like we have in the Red Pro, like 7200 RPM, and having hardware vibration sensors that enable high performance in even high vibration environments, whether it's drive-to-drive vibration or as you get into some of these higher performance systems, you start to see larger fans that can vary their speed based on the temperature of the NAS, so that way it's always a nice operating temperature within the box. The challenge with varying speed fans, though, is it causes vibration into the hard drives. And as you can imagine, you've got heads flying very close to the media, tracks are very close together. If there's enough vibration that causes the drives to go off track, we're not going to be able to keep up the high performance that you would expect. So by adding technologies into the drive to be able to cancel this vibration that's coming in will allow us to keep very high performance in these NAS applications. So you can see that the WD-Red Pro, the key applications are business class NAS systems, and we also target the Red Pro at the rack-based systems for many of the reasons that I just highlighted, like the vibration capability and the higher performance. But there's nothing that would preclude somebody from using the WD-Red Pro in a 4-bay tower-based NAS system as well, if you wanted the higher performance or the increased warranty. The capacity range for the 3.5-inch Red Pro is 2 terabytes to 6 terabytes. It's SATA 6 gig per second. We've got 64 megabytes on the 2 through 4 terabyte and 128 megabyte cache on the 5 and 6. The RPM is 7200 RPMs, and the warranty is 5 years. So we are definitely aligning it to a more business class application. And this is just kind of a more kind of a visual view as to the applications and the use cases you would have for a NAS. I did add this. Typically, you don't have the Thunderbolt icon because there's not too many NAS systems in the world that have it today. But since we were talking about the Thunderbolt NAS system, this is definitely another input that could provide a higher workload into the drives that may require or desire a WD-Red Pro drive. But you can see, obviously, as a business, you can link to it from many different places. QNAP has a great technology where you're able to run virtualized PCs out of many of their different types of NASs. So you don't have to have a PC for every user. You could actually have virtual systems coming off some of the NAS. Many of them are very scalable, which again could increase the workload. And then there's other applications like deduplication that can be run on some of the higher end NASs that drives a higher workload for the hard drive. That would again cause us to recommend a Red Pro with the higher workload capability and the higher performance capability to keep everything running very fast and smooth. We do have a WD Red drive as well for other maybe lower end NAS systems, 8-bay and below, more consumer based. The Red drive does not have all the same bells and whistles as the Red Pro, as you can imagine, but it is really the right choice for 1 to 8-bay SOHO and consumer NAS systems. It is optimized for NAS. Again, we do very close compatibility testing and development with our NAS hard drives with our NAS partners, and we've been shipping this Red drive now for it'll be almost 4 years. So we have a lot of experience in this space. We do have 2 form factors for our Red drives. We have a 3.5-inch that goes from 1 terabyte to 6 terabytes. The SATA 6 gig per second, and the Red drives all have 64 megabyte cache. The warranty for the Red drive versus the Red Pro is 3 years. And then for smaller form factor systems, and there are a few in the market, we do have a 2.5-inch version of the Red drive. It comes in 2 capacities, a 750 gig and a 1 terabyte. The cache is a little bit lower because it is a kind of a lower performing drive, and we can utilize a slightly smaller cache, but this also has a 3-year warranty as well. And then the next slide here is just kind of as similar as I had in the Red Pro, just some practical applications of the Red drive going into a NAS system, and then the types of systems or applications you could tie into your NAS, whether it's a game console, a smart TV. If you have surveillance cameras, IP-based surveillance cameras, you can plug those into your NAS as well to be able to get access through the cloud or record the video that is happening in wherever you have the cameras located. From product advantages, really I place compatibility as number one. Some of these others are kind of given, like the reliability and performance, but the expectation that we have and that our customers should have is that when you buy a WD Red drive, it is compatible with our partners' NAS systems. We do the optimizations, or we'll make the changes necessary to make sure that they are compatible and have high compatibility. And we do have very strong partnerships, even in development, engineering, and even from a marketing point of view, like we're doing today, with our system NAS system manufacturers. On the reliability side, we know that many NAS systems are going to be running at 24/7, and that is kind of it is different than what we see in many desktop-based PCs. Most desktop PCs either go into sleep mode or people actually may turn them off in their home. But many of the NAS systems, especially as you move into SMBs, are going to be running by 24/7. So we make sure we do all of our reliability testing and design and development around a 24/7 environment. And we do other things as well, like we have a 3D active balance where we make sure that the disks and the motor and the base are all balanced and optimized. So that way we're able to get very high performance. Similar to a tire on your car, if it's not balanced properly, you'll get some, we call it run out. We want to make sure that we are not encountering that in our hard drives. So we do the 3D active balance, which is the 3D being X-axis, Y-axis, and Z-axis. And then we do perform some extending testing versus our desktop drives to make sure that the Red drives as they come out will be, again, highly reliable, high quality in this NAS type of application. On the performance side, we make sure we do have optimizations in the drive specifically tied for NAS systems as compared to just using like a standard desktop drive that's more targeted at at PC or Windows types applications. We do have RV sensors in our WD-Red Pro for higher bay count and higher performance systems. And then we do have a feature, we call it TLER, Time Limited Air Recovery. And that's a technology that we work with the NAS on, such that if there's a problem getting data off the hard drive from a particular drive, if it's in a RAID application, there's a high probability that the NAS will be able to get that from somewhere else maybe quicker. And this TLER technology enables us to prevent drives from falling off the RAID if there happens to be a long air recovery on a given drive. On the support side, we do have a dedicated Red family tech support line. In talking to our tech support team, I don't think it's utilized enough. Either that or we just have such a great success with the WD-Red drives, we don't have a lot of calls coming in. But I would recommend to any of the partners who are on the call, if you do have a challenge with your WD-Red drives, to use the Red family tech support line. And essentially what that does is it takes you into level 2 or perhaps even level 3 tech support. So you get beyond the very simple questions of, are you sure it's plugged in? Did you turn it off? Did you turn it on? Gets you beyond that because we assume that many of the folks who are using NAS systems are kind of above that and would have done those basic troubleshooting technologies. And again, the Red drive is backed by a 3-year warranty, and the Red Pro with a 5-year warranty. On the NASware optimized, there's really kind of 5 key attributes that we align with the NASware and will continue to evolve. We rolled out NASware earlier this year, and it's really targeted at reliability, compatibility, power measures. We do have some technology on our hard drives that help the drive stay alive if there are some power instabilities or loss. We can't guarantee in every application that if lightning hits your house and fries all your electronics that this will support it. But we do see across the entire range of NAS systems that all NAS systems don't deliver power to the hard drives the same. And the goal of the NASware in this power measures section is to make sure that we're as capable of leading a healthy life in essentially all of the NASs that we could get installed into. On the capability side, we're constantly working with our partners to look for new features. One of the new features that we added to the WD-Red since we've launched it is capability to go all the way up to 8 bays. Previously, the WD-Red family only went up to 6 bays, but by adding in some technologies, we've been able to get 1 to 8 bay support for Red, and then we have the NASware 3.0 for Red Pro. And then I did talk about the RAID support with TLER to maintain and control the RAID. And then from a high-level product features comparison, and in case you have questions on what is, again, the difference and almost like a cheat sheet, the difference between the WD-Red and the WD-Red Pro. The capacity ranges are similar, but they are a little bit different, 1 through 6 on the WD-Red, 2 up to 6 terabytes on the Red Pro. The Red is again targeted more at consumer-type applications, home, work group, and Soho NAS. And the Red Pro is really targeted or ideal for prosumers, SMB, and small to medium enterprise NAS applications. The Red is recommended for 1 to 8 bay NAS systems and really just the desktop tower only, where the Red Pro is targeted up to 16 bay NAS, and this supports the desktop tower and the rack-based systems. Warranty, we've got the 3-year on the Red, 5-year on the Red Pro. Then you can see in the performance and power features, the WD-Red is got the IntelliPower feature, which is more of a 5400 RPM class hard drive. And then we've got the Red Pro that's targeted that is running at 7200 RPM to get the higher performance. On the multi-drive features, we've got what we call Stable Track, which is a tied shaft motor. The motor in the 1 through 4 terabyte Red drives, it's not tied at the top into the top cover, and when we only have essentially 4 disks, it's okay. But when you start adding more disks in and you're expecting higher performance, by tying the motor at the top and the bottom, we're able to get higher performance and spin the disks in a much more defined manner. And that again just ties into essentially lower acoustics, lower drive emitted vibration, and higher performance. And that also ties into our 3D active balance. And then on the Red Pro, we have both of those technologies, stable track and 3D active balance. But we've also added the hardware vibration sensors to help compensate for the drive-to-drive vibration as well as the fan and system vibration. From a firmware point of view, they both are utilizing NAS optimized firmware and NASWare 3.0. And then from a manufacturing and test process, that we do use internally here at Western Digital, we have a very well-known and regarded fit lab, which is just functional integrity testing, making sure that we put the drive through all of its paces, whether it's all the commands that it can support, as well as different types of applications and even command timings to make sure that the drive will function well in the market. We do run it through a dedicated consumer NAS compatibility testing, so we get NAS systems in from our partners and do compatibility testing, as well as buying incremental systems out on the market to make sure that again, our red drives are compatible. And we use a dedicated NAS class manufacturing process, which is a step up from what we would do in our desktop type of manufacturing. On the Red Pro, we still utilize our fit lab here, and we have a dedicated business NAS compatibility testing. Many of the business class NAS systems are either larger NAS systems or they're rack-based. So we utilize more of our enterprise class validation team to make sure that the Red Pro drives are compatible in the business class NAS systems. And then we take the manufacturing process one step higher. So you would have kind of the lower level desktop, then we have our NAS class, and then we use an enterprise class manufacturing process for the Red Pro, again to provide high reliability, high quality, and support the 5-year warranty. So from a NAS product portfolio, we've got again, WD Red targeted at Soho and consumer NAS. And from the reason I put the processors here is just to kind of put it in perspective. Most of the consumer and Soho-based NAS systems are Atom or below. For the Red Pro, those are targeted more at SMB NAS and even small to medium enterprise NAS. And this is where you'll see more of the core, either i3, i5, i7 types of processors, depending on the level of the NAS system. And again, that's one of the reasons why we are recommending the Red Pro, just a higher workload capability in the systems. And then for the highest end systems, we recommend maybe Xenon-based. We would recommend our WD RE drives. The RE drives are our enterprise or data center class hard drives, again designed and manufactured for really higher end SAS, NAS and SAN type applications. Okay, so in summary, just want to highlight that we are investing in the growing NAS market, again through partnership and development with our NAS partners. We want to make sure that the features that are required to keep the performance high we're implementing into our Red and Red Pro drives. And by doing all of that, that will enable the WD Red and Red Pro to make the storage solution very simple for your NAS needs. Okay, so that was it for my slides. I do see that there were some questions, so maybe since I'm on here, Hernan, I'll go ahead and answer the ones that may be hard drive related. I see one that's asked if there's any benefits or detriments to using blue SSHDs in a NAS. The SSHD is a solid state hard drive, so we have 8 gigs of NAND on a 4 terabyte hard drive. And in our testing, maybe to hopefully save you guys all from having to do it, we did not see any real performance benefit of using an SSHD in the NAS. And the reason for that is that the 8 gigs of NAND that we have on the SSHDs, it's primarily tied to pinning or putting data that's frequently used as we're learning. The SSHD is a self-learning hard drive, and one of the challenges with the NAS application is the data that comes off a NAS tends to be much more random than you may see in a Windows PC. In a Windows PC, the data that's typically pulled is very locale specific. So if someone's going to open, one PowerPoint, there's a good chance that the next PowerPoint or the next file that they're going to open is in a similar location on their drive. And we're able with our cache, as well as even with the NAND, to be able to pull that in to either our DRAM or the NAND to not have to incur a mechanical kind of seek penalty to get that data. But that really is something that's tied more to a PC application. And again, in a NAS, especially if you have multiple users who are all logged into a NAS system and pulling data, it's much more random. So in our testing, we did not see a lot of performance benefit of adding an SSHD into a NAS system. But it would really be based on how that NAS system is being accessed and utilized. So your mileage may vary. And then there was one other question about performance delta of Red Pro drives in the 871T array as compared to the Red drives. That's a great question. I don't have that answer. I can go work with our applications guys to run that. I would highlight with the Thunderbolt technology being able to transfer large files at a very quick speed into the NAS, that the Red Pro would provide a performance advantage. In some of the lower end NAS systems that we put Red Pro drives into and do testing on, we don't see a real considerable performance increase over the Red drives, and that's really tied to the kind of the limitation of the NAS, the CPU, or even the single gigabit Ethernet port. On the 871, having the higher end processors, as well as having the 10 gig E Ethernet ports, I would expect that you would see higher performance from a Red Pro drive versus the Red. I just can't at this time quantify the exact difference that you would see. Okay, I think that's it for the questions I saw on hard drives. Hernan, are you still on?
Yep, I'm here.
Okay. I don't know if you can see the question. There were a couple questions on,
sure,
on like
let's take a look.
The memory speed for the 871. Is it DDR3 or DDR4, SODIMMs or full size? I'm not sure if you know that.
Let me find out. Let's see, memory speed. Raymond, I'm not too sure right now. I can find out for you though, Raymond Hall. If you want to go ahead and shoot me an email at usasales@qnap.com, and I will definitely get you that information as soon as possible. Okay. So I think, let's see, Raymond has another question. Yeah, SDHC. Yeah, that would be an addition. It would be nice. You're right. Good point. Are the USB and other ports manageable? Can they be secured, restricted, or disabled? At this point, the gig LANs can be. You can do port trunking, and you can, and those you can change. Right now, the USBs you cannot. They're only used for the one in the one in the front. You can use it to expand the memory as well, so you can actually connect an external hard drive to it, to the USB. Otherwise, it would be a keyboard and a mouse functionality. And that question is from Raymond Hall. Let's see if we have any other questions. Gary, about the typo, I apologize. We will fix that. I will fix that typo. Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
Okay. And I see, Chris, you have your hand up, and thanks for putting the question in the chat. I believe that the presentation will be posted. Looking back here, it will be posted somewhere.
Yeah,
yes, it will be posted, yes.
Yeah, it'll be posted on our site as well.
Okay.
So either or, you can reach out to either of us, and as soon as I get a copy, then we'll post it on our site as well. And obviously, WD will have it on their sites as well.
All right. Well, I think that's it for the questions. Oh, let's see, one last one. Advantech and Adventure Red Pro would likely yield 20% better. Wow, thanks, Bill. Appreciate you you pulling that up. Unfortunately, being on the webinar here, I wasn't able to go do any real research. But actually, one last thing here before we wrap up. Wanted to highlight that we are starting a double points promo for the 4 and 6 terabyte for the Red and Red Pro. That started, I think, this week, December 13th, and is going to go through the end of December, so December 31st. So please, if you want to earn some easy double points here, go ahead and pick up some 4 and 6 terabyte Red and Red Pro drives, and it'd be great to pick up a 871T as well to plug the Red Pro drives into, and then start your 2016 off with high performance NAS and your WD Red Pro drives. And if you haven't signed up at mywd.com, please do, and then you can get yourself set up for this earning the points. All right, and then Chris, sorry, there was you just had one question on our names. So Hernan Lopez from QNAP, and then Darren Bullock from Western Digital. All right, I think with that, we'll go ahead and end this webinar. Thanks everyone for joining in. Have a great day, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you.
Thanks everyone.